Good morning, homeschool families or families thinking about homeschooling and all that fun stuff before coronavirus season. This is fall 2020. Even if it's not, this content will still be good for you, whether you're watching it later or after the pandemic or whatever. But today is pandemic homeschooling, and we're going to talk about the different homeschool styles that you can implement in your homeschool, just depending on your family's personality, your guys' needs right now, and all that fun stuff. So go ahead and subscribe, because these videos are going to come at you at a weekly or a weekday pace, just until August. That way you can decide if homeschooling is for you, what your homeschool will look like, and how to get started and all that fun stuff. Someone's not happy in my house. So there are so many homeschool styles, and we're going to take a look at a few of them just so you understand or get a feel for the options that are available for you. Once you identify what kind of homeschool style you want to implement in your home, it'll be much easier to decide what kind of curriculum you need to get and all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first homeschool style is traditional homeschooling. Now, under this one will come the virtual homeschools. Basically, traditional homeschooling just means you're at home. So virtual homeschooling or virtual schooling falls under this. It's just school at home. And this is not my favorite, but honestly, if this is the season that works for you, great. I am so happy for you, especially if your school district offers a virtual option for you and that's the option that you take. Great. That is wonderful. I'm so happy for you, because whatever works for you in this season is what works for you in this season. Okay. No one's going to be like, well, that's not homeschooling, or they shouldn't be. And if they are, then that's not your friend. Okay. That's not the person that's helping support you and your family during this time. So traditional homeschooling is at school at home with like the desk and the assignments. And the quizzes and the tests and all those things. The next homeschool style we want to talk about is classical homeschooling. Now, this is like the approach that you would think of back in the day. Like our founding fathers were homeschooled, and they probably used this approach. And so it is very literature based. It is a lot of reading. It's a lot of writing, and all those things are good. So they break it down into ages and developmental stages. So the first one is the grammar stage. For younger kids, where it's a lot of memorization of like math facts, history facts, language arts facts, all those things. They're learning the basics of how to learn, I guess. The next is also logic. This is where they start asking those questions, like those why, how, all that stuff. And so it really gets their analytical thinking. And then the last, for like high school ages, are the rhetoric stage. And that is where you use both of the things you already learned, the grammar and logic, and you apply them. So like you're getting into persuasive writing, you're getting into debate, you're getting into all that like really deep analytical thinking. And a lot of it is just literature based all the way through. So you're with this homeschool style. The sun came out. Oh, I'm gonna back up. The next homeschool style I wanted to talk about is Montessori. Now, you've probably heard this word before. A lot of preschools are touting Montessori preschools, and that's great because it's perfect for those age ranges for younger kids, but it also can be applied for older kids as well. But basically, you are letting the child lead their learning. So they are exploring, they are figuring things out on their own. They're developing a love of learning by their environment. So your job is to create an environment where they love learning and love exploring. They are given opportunities to explore. They're giving opportunities to tell you what they want to learn. It's a great tool for younger kids, but like I said, it can be applied for older kids. The next is my personal favorite, unit studies. And this is where we take one big idea, one thing that the kids really want to learn. We'll all brainstorm on it, and we will break that subject, say rocks, down into a bunch rocks. I have a critic over here. We will break that unit down into all the subjects that you would teach. So math, we learn about dates and ages and stuff like that. History, language arts, all of these things will be broken down where we're learning about it all within that one unit study. So it gives a really good, solid understanding of how all these subjects work together and how we can use them all together, because honestly, that's how life is. Like I don't go through problems in my life and be like, well, I'm using math right now, I need to get out my math book, or like it's all cohesive. So that's what we want to do with this unit study, is just make it all cohesive and that they are excited and really diving into this topic that they're interested in. The next homeschool style is Charlotte Mason homeschool style, and she was an early educator in like the 1800s or something. And she had this theory of living books, and that I love this idea of living books because a textbook is so dry and nobody likes reading textbooks. You know, they're just a bunch of facts put in, but they're not really written about from the heart. Like the people that wrote these books wrote them without passion, without any of these things. And when you find a book that someone wrote with passion, they're an expert in this field, they make it living. These are where we really, really thrive. So she promoted living books. She promoted outdoor learning, journaling, copy work where you learn grammar by just copying poems or whatever it is that your kid is interested in. The next homeschool style is the Waldorf homeschool style. And this is focusing on the early education as well, really focusing on art, music, gardening, foreign language, and stuff like that. And they learn through play. There is not a whole lot of academics going on in Waldorf homeschool style at the beginning. So with this, there is not a whole lot of formal learning. You're not really pushing writing and all that stuff until they are ready. And at first, you're just spending those years where they need to be learning, how they need to be learning. And that's through play and all these fun stuff and through the arts and things like that are really exciting. The next homeschool style is another one that I love, is project-based homeschooling. And so this is where you'll have the kids working on a project that they love. And when they come across a problem or something like that, they work to solve the solution. So like they will be building models about something that they're learning about, all these things. And so they work through these projects, and that is so valuable for learning because you don't learn by reading, you don't learn by writing, you learn by doing. You know what I mean? Like I can sit here and lecture but about homeschooling, but you're not going to really get your homeschool education until you start doing it, excuse me. And so that is also what the project-based homeschool style kind of works on. So like we've implemented with the unit studies where they will have a project going on and with those unit studies, and that's really where everything that we learned, they apply into this project. And it's really an exciting way to homeschool. Then you have eclectic homeschooling, where I think most of us homeschool like this, honestly, is where it's not one pure style, it's a collection of all of them, or a collection of a few that really work. And seasons change. So like you could be all in one of these styles for a season, and then you shift because your child shifts. And those are normal growth patterns. That's what we're supposed to do. The next one is unschooling, where you just throw everything out the window, but not really. And you pay attention to what your child wants to learn, and each day what the child wants to learn is what y'all learn. And this can be a lot more intensive on the parents' part because there is no set curriculum. We are going by the seat of our pants. And it's a great homeschool style for those that are wanting to homeschool long term. I would not recommend it for those that are just like, I just want to stay home for this year until, the pandemic subsides. So that is something to keep in mind. I would say, are mostly relaxed homeschoolers right now. This is summertime and we're still homeschooling, but not really deeply or heavily. And basically relaxed homeschoolers are unschoolers, except for they hold on to these important subjects for them. And so that for us, that is math and language arts, because I did want to put my sons back in public school and I didn't want them to fall behind. So we would be homeschoolers during summertime, which is still learning because you still learn all throughout every part of your day. These are the homeschool styles that I looked up. There are so many more, but I also recommend that you look them up and you research a little bit to see what you think your child will do best in and what kind of theory you would like. This will help you determine what kind of curriculum you're going to set for your child. Like, for instance, if you're doing the Waldorf style where it's a lot of just play, you don't need a whole lot of curriculum. If you're doing, at least in the early years, if you're doing a Charlotte Mason style, your curriculum will be these living books, these like nature journals and stuff like that. It's like you kind of create it yourself. If you're doing the classical homeschooling where it's a very literature based, there's a lot of classical homeschool curriculums available to you online. You journal about it yourself. Like, what do you think your homeschool style should be based on your child's needs and based on your child's personality, based on your personality? And this will help guide you in the direction of which curriculum you guys should pick. So I look forward to seeing y'all again tomorrow. Be sure to look forward to that book that's coming out for you guys pretty soon. And yeah, let's just keep going. Miss Papa got this. I'll see y'all guys tomorrow. Bye.